live with episode 8 of Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lauren Kralovic here with
Kaylia Rhodes.
Stephanie Warden.
And this week we're doing a then versus now and what we wish we knew when we started kind of topic. So we've all been competing for years now. So we thought it would be kind of fun to share just little tidbits of things we wish we would have known when we started. And if we could do that, go back and do
it all over again.
Yeah. we would do that. But first, do we want to share some updates? Check in where we are.
Week? Yes, it is peak week. Yay. So we leave Thursday and the show is Saturday. So yay. I am just on cruise control.
Yeah, so
making it.
Peak week for Wasatch Warrior in Salt Lake.
It's going to be an amazing show. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. There's going to be lots of people there and lots of fans in terms of all my friends are coming and things. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
What's your
I'm
peak
excited.
week been like? What's it look like? It's been like a day or two in, but
well, yeah, I'm only like a day in, so I'm checking in every 2 days so far. My cardio stayed the same. I'm taking a little bit more rest because if you can hear it, my throat is just a little I'm a little so I'm not going to say the S word. I'm not S-I-C-K. I'm not.
We're not. No. We're manifesting.
No, we're not. I'm not.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
It's a little tickle in the throat.
Yep, just a little.
She needs some tea.
Yep, that's my tea. I'm good. But you guys, how are you?
Well, are you feeling excited?
I am excited. I'm just trying not to talk as much. I'm dying.
She's trying to pass the wand.
I try to pass it because I'm like, I can hear my own voice. I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound good at all. It sounds terrible.
You sound fine.
Right.
Yeah, you do. You sound fine.
Oh my gosh.
I'm super excited for you. It's going to be so cool that all 4 of us are going to be there.
Yes.
Plus,
and Shane's going to be there.
Yeah, your coach.
Right? And so, you know how he always runs around when he's at shows? I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to be running to me. It's exciting. So no, it's gonna be fun, and like there's a lot of Team Hughley girls doing it, and then I think we're doing a team posing seminar, I guess, the day before, and so I'm just excited for that team energy and everything like that. Yay. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Right?
Yeah, I'm excited to go watch Wasatch, especially to see you compete. I realize I haven't seen you compete in person since the first time I ever saw you on the Idaho stage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've never been able to travel with you.
That's right.
So it's like the first time I met you and now.
Right?
So that's a long time in between.
I know. Oh my gosh, I better work it.
Well, I know you've improved.
Just a little pressure. Just a little.
How about you? How's prep?
Good. Good. We are 5 weeks out. Yeah, 5 weeks. Still haven't booked anything. But we
Again.
will.
This is like the third.
I know. Third episode in a row where I eventually will. Yeah, good. I mean, we're doing we're back into like the cutting, so we need to just chip away a couple more pounds. So we've just had 3 kind of put harder days, low calorie, higher cardio, and then got a little rest, and now we're back doing another round of 3. So my weight has been just like little snail speed, like 0.1, 0.2 down. Like it's just taking a sweet time, but it's fine. I feel leaner, like I feel like tinier, and like so I feel the scale's just not catching up yet. Like it's just, I think a lot of it's digestion too. So like when my cardio gets increased like that, and then have the low food with the higher cardio, like it throws off my digestion. Yeah. And so and I can kind of feel it. So yeah, I think in a day or so we'll hopefully see that weight drop on the actual scale. And then I check in on Tuesday and we just see what the plan is and see if we need to do another round of pushing and trying to get I'm like 122, high 122s, so almost 123. So I need to lose like 2 to 3 pounds. We're trying to get to 120 probably. See what I look like, and so
more pushing.
Just more pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just going. Yeah.
Just working away.
Yeah. We've got we're doing like 5 low days and then 2 high carb days. And then I check in. So I have my high carb days tomorrow and Tuesday, and then check in and see what the plan is. Ooh. Probably a drop in food and probably more cardio. But
yeah. Join the club.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all good. Yeah. We got plenty of time. Yeah. How about you?
It's actually been really good. I am actually really, really feeling like prep is going now. So last week I updated, but I didn't really say kind of like how I said I had a little weight drop and we didn't make any changes. So I had been stuck right around like the 140s for most of my 8 weeks of prep. I think this week's week 9. And last week we dropped down to 137, and today I weighed 135.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Like we're
Yes.
dropping again.
We're dropping.
Good.
So
It's all catching up.
Right?
it's kind of crazy how I just like was thinking about it. It's like, okay, so yeah, maybe I've lost a certain amount of pounds over like the 9 weeks of prep I've been doing. But it's crazy how like the very first part was so slow, and it was like 1 to 3 pounds the first few weeks, and then maybe another couple pounds, and it's like right in the last 2 weeks it's been like, oh, big whoosh, like almost 5 pounds.
Mhm.
I did not lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks, but that's basically how it looks on like the data, because it's just kind of the way like my weight loss goes and trends. So it's kind of cool to see, but it feels like we're finally on a roll.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a high day eventually.
Yes, the weekend of Wasatch.
Yeah, but if I do that, then it would just be a little more carbs. And I'm really weird about like when I get like a meal or a high carbs, I want to be like able to enjoy it to my fullest. So I actually probably wouldn't want it while I was traveling. I'd want it when I'm home,
When you're home, yeah.
so I can make something and sit there and savor
Yeah.
it.
That's funny. I like that. No,
It's a
that's
whole
true.
experience.
That's true.
Because at Wasatch, I'll be like on the go. So I'll
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
even swap out some of my meals and just be like literally like instead of like sauteing up my veggies and making like this whole dinner like I make, I'll probably be like rice cake.
Yeah.
We're done. Okay.
Yeah. Easy
Yeah.
things.
Cold chicken out of a bag. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
so
won't be enjoyable.
Mhm.
yeah,
That makes
so it
sense.
would like not. It would kind of suck having that be my.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
I'd probably do it like when we got back, if I had it for the weekend, or like
Yeah.
or that Friday before we left or something. So I felt really good going into the weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really weird about that.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like I'll even like push like a favorite meal or something back until I have time to like be at home to eat it, because I want to take my time slowly, like
And eat
Yeah.
it.
little bite
That's
by
just
Yeah.
the point you get to. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. I
Yeah.
get it.
No, I do
Because
too.
if I rush a meal, then I'm like, oh, that was
Like,
just
did I
like
even eat?
wasted.
Yeah.
And
that
I like
was
hot
wasted.
food. I have to make it like because most of my prep meals are reheated,
Yeah.
right? And so like if I get to make something from scratch and then eat it right then,
It's so good.
it's so good.
so
Yeah.
So good. I like, yeah.
Agreed.
There's certain things I did this last prep and I like it again this prep. I really like one of my meals to be cold chicken. Even if I'm at home, I will like put it in little bites all on the plate and then put a little bit of salt on all of them, and I'll eat them one little tiny piece at a time.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'm
Like,
trying to
just
think of the
one
weird
little
thing I
bit.
do. When it
Yeah.
gets
Cold
deep in
chicken, it's
prep, I
weird.
put my ground turkey or my chicken in my egg whites.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds
that's-
good.
I think
Yeah,
it
to
tastes
kinda
really
add-
good
yeah, that's
because it's
good.
kind of like an omelet, kind of.
So it's like
it
adding
just adds a
sausage in a
different,
way,
yeah.
but not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something,
it
I
changes
don't
the
know.
texture. It.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Am I
Like what
doing
else is
anything?
weird? I'm obsessed with broccoli right now. I
Ooh,
can't eat.
yum.
I don't like. After my first prep, my first two preps, it was always asparagus, and so now I can't. I don't know. It's like tough.
Yeah.
The
The way
I'm obsessed with broccoli.
I do spinach in my first meal with I make this egg salad,
Mhm.
hard-boiled egg salad. Oh, it's so good. I do that, and then I have asparagus in my next two meals, and I cook it in the air fryer.
Oh,
But I don't get it crispy. I actually like it a little.
little
It's like
softer?
on the verge of almost crispy,
Mhm.
and it's like this perfect time and temperature I do,
Yeah.
and it's so good. And then I do broccoli for my last meal,
I love
and
broccoli.
same thing in the air fryer. But I do a certain like it's like 360 degrees,
Yeah.
4 minutes,
Yeah.
and it is like juicy.
What do you do if you screw it up? Because I screwed up an entire bag of broccoli, and I'm almost through it. I'm almost through
What do
it.
you mean screw it up? Like is it
Like I steam it, and I forgot about it, and so
Oh,
it
so
was
it's like-
too soft.
oh, ew, I would redo it.
okay. I
remake
just
it,
I totally
If
just
it's too
did it
mushy-
this week.
if
It was
it's-
like it's fine. It's fine.
I feel
Oh,
like
I can't
I hate wasting food. I am
Yeah.
not a food
I do
waster.
too. I hate it, but if
I will use up stuff. I'm not picky, but if it's in prep and our calories are low,
Yeah.
I will go buy something else. I will go get something else. I will make it because, like I was
I
saying,
can't eat
every
the mushy.
bite.
Yeah.
has to-
I had to.
yes,
I was just so like Zach had already portioned it all out for me because he did it for me last Sunday, and I was like,
Oh.
I don't want to redo this. I just
yeah, if it's all yeah.
I do redo if I screw up my egg in the morning because I like the yolk runny. If I overcook it, I throw it out.
Oh really? Oh.
Eggs are expensive.
Yeah,
If
I know.
there's nothing, I don't
know.
think
It
I'm
hasn't happened that many times. 6 times this prep so far. Where I screwed it up. Sorry.
You know exactly how
Over
many
like
times?
4 months.
6
I'm
times.
guessing. I'm
That's-
guessing.
Kaylee's doing math in her head. She's like, that's
I know.
$3.50.
Right? Well, you know what? Duke was happy. Duke was happy. I
Yeah,
gave
if
him
I
part
miss
of
like
it.
a meat
Oh, so you gave it to your dog.
Yeah, I
yeah,
gave him
I'll
part
give
of
it. If
it,
I
yeah.
give it, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think I've messed up anything. The one thing, I mean, this is a mess up, but it drives me nuts is when the oatmeal overflows in the
Oh, I
microwave.
hate
no.
that.
Mm-mm.
Like
Hate it. Hate
I
it.
That's
the
temper
rage,
tantrum for
the
sure. That's temper
rage
tantrum for sure.
that, like, and guys, have you ever done it multiple times in a row?
Yes.
Because you're busy, and so I
No.
throw it in the microwave, like round 2, clean out the microwave, clean the bowl, remeasure it, put it back in, freaking forget about it again.
Oh my
like
gosh.
2 times in a row, like just because.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd learn. You'd
That's
think
really
I'd just sit there and watch it.
Yeah,
But
I do sit there and watch
it is
That's
just
so
the,
funny.
Yeah.
ooh,
It's crazy. Like, I'll have to like tell myself to stop,
just chill.
watch it. Or
Yep.
so I've also started doing where I only do like 1 minute. And then I'll come
Yes.
back and I'll do like 30
30
seconds.
seconds.
So that it can't go long enough.
That's
and then I
so
sit there and I'll
funny.
do a lot of 30
Yes,
seconds.
a
like-
lot of 30 seconds.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And Anthony's like, what are you doing? It's beeping so many times. And I was like,
so
Oh,
he's like, just
I
put in
turned
the
off-
minutes.
Our microwave, I cannot stand the beep.
Yeah,
And
we've
so
turned it off too.
I had Ronnie
Like, I didn't
Google
know
it
you
and
could
figure
do
out how to
that.
turn it off.
Yeah, you turn the
Yep.
volume off on your microwave.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
like
it makes no
that.
noise, no
that's
beeping,
awesome.
no. It
Except
just
for when you open and close the door a bunch of times.
yeah, that yeah, that.
I feel like
I did something picky this week too. Anthony's been really great about like doing a lot of our grocery shopping
Mhm.
while I'm here recording on Sundays because it's
Mhm.
usually when we would go to the grocery
Okay.
store. So it's like awesome teamwork. He's getting that done. And we don't go through peanut butter really fast because I only use 10 grams a day, so it's
Yeah,
very
it
slow to
takes you
go
some
through the
time.
jar.
yeah.
But so I asked him to pick me up a little jar, and he's like, "Is Adam's good?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, Adam's is good. They've got a natural peanut butter." I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect." Well, I didn't realize when he came home, he brought home the non-stir, and I can't do non-stir peanut butter. One, because there's palm oil in it, and I
Oh.
don't like palm
Yeah, I
oil.
don't.
I just think it's like completely unnecessary in
Pointless.
peanut butter,
Mhm.
and so it's like, why would I eat like a more processed oil?
Yeah,
So so I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not going to waste this. I'm just going to make it work. Whatever. And then I couldn't because with the oil and the non-stir, you can only take like a scoop. Like if I was going to spread it on bread or something, maybe it would work. But I drizzle it on top of my oat bran, and you can't drizzle that non-stir peanut butter. So I had to
can't?
like, no,
Do you stir it though?
no.
Wait,
What
you
is-
have to
I have to
stir
eat it on top.
Okay, you
So
stick
wait,
a
what
butter
is
knife.
it like
So I
separated? So is it like oil and then the peanut butter on the bottom?
because it's non-creamy. It's a non-stir. The non-stir.
Is this one of those high food, low cardio moments?
Yes.
Or-
With the extra oil, it makes it like
so there's not
stiff.
oil sitting at the
Oh.
top.
No oil.
Oh,
at the
it's
top.
mixed in. It's
It's
non-stir.
pre-mixed.
Oh.
It's pre-mixed.
And it doesn't. It's thick
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
so
pre-mixed,
thick.
so it's not drizzly.
So if you get one that's like peanuts only,
Okay, I
it'll
get it
have
now.
an oil layer, and you mix that really good, and it drizzles
Ugh,
perfectly.
Skippy or nothing.
So I had to-
Absolutely not. Ugh, I don't think it tastes good at all. It tastes like bark,
What does?
tree bark, natural peanut butter. I don't know.
oh, I
don't like
do.
it at
I do
all.
natural. Well, I'm almond
I
butter.
like
person.
almond butter. Almond
I
butter is
do-
a little bit sweeter. I can't.
Yeah, I do
can't
natural
peanut.
almond butter, but even my
I can
peanut
do
butter.
almond butter.
No matter what butter I buy, I make sure the ingredient is only the
Just
nut.
nuts.
There's no
Yeah.
sugar. There's no oils. There's
Yeah.
no.
No,
It's just
Skippy.
that. But
I
I'm
love Skippy.
So you're
You're
doing
like
one.
Ronnie.
But
Ronnie's
I
like-
can't have peanut butter in prep because I love Skippy. So
Oh.
I'm like after
See,
prep
I could eat
or
it,
Jif.
but I've been eating this
The worst ones.
the same ones for so long, like with no palm oil and and
Yeah.
it's literally just peanuts.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. I don't care what brand it is as long as it's just peanuts.
Yeah, that
I don't know.
makes
It's like a
sense.
weird thing. Like
No, it makes
No, it
sense.
makes-
Then you
But
are
I had
able
to
to
do it
keep
just
it
right.
through your prep
Yeah.
longer. I can't. So
Yeah.
I would do it if I.
Yeah,
if
I love
liked
the
it.
almond butter I have.
Yeah.
it took a lot of self control. Speaking of then
Yes.
versus now, actually going to our topic,
Yes.
I've been able to have peanut butter now because I don't know what it is. I've come to a good relationship with it.
Good relationship with
That's
peanut butter.
Where I can do my 10 grams and it's a treat and I look forward to it and
Yeah.
I just do that and I don't eat any more of it. But I remember back in the day, like I had a hard time controlling myself with peanut butter and I literally would like take scoops And like as a cheat, like in the middle of the night, I'd get up and eat like 3 spoonfuls of peanut butter.
Same.
That's funny.
Like not in prep. Like just
Yeah.
like as
No,
it,
just I would do it in
just-
prep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like-
well, but like in life,
never
like
cheated.
just before
Yeah.
I like knew about tracking and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the amount of mounds of peanut butter I have eaten, and I'm
That's
just like,
funny.
oh,
I didn't like peanut butter until I started bodybuilding. Like I definitely, I
That's
didn't like it. Like I literally stayed away from
It's
it
'cause
as a
you're Canadian.
child. I didn't like it. Like my siblings loved it. I remember my mom used to give them like when you're a kid, right? Like
Yeah.
peanut butter and
Yeah.
a spoon.
You
Ugh,
just
I
didn't-
hated it.
and now
then
she loves.
After my first or second show, I don't know what it was. It was like I just got
your taste buds got
obsessed.
rewired.
Yeah, I got
That's
obsessed
funny.
with it. So I never did any of that.
Well,
but-
I do. So how do you measure it by putting the thing on the scale, the container on the scale?
It's the only way.
Only
to do
way.
it.
And then
Yeah.
what I
It's the
do to
only way.
enjoy it, because if it's like usually I can have like 16 grams,
Mm-hmm.
and I dip the spoon in because it's the natural kind. So it's like I dip the spoon in and then lick it off the spoon until I get to 16 grams. That's
so
me
funny.
enjoying
Oh
my
my
almond
gosh.
or peanut butter.
That's
Like
amazing.
that's
It's
like
so
it's like
That's good.
I love the ritual.
And the way she, for those who are listening who don't know what she means by putting it on the scale, this is the only way to measure those
Yeah.
high calorie items that stick to spoons.
Yeah.
You take your food scale, you put the whole jar on the food scale, you hit tare so it's zeroed, and then you measure until it's negative the measurement that you need.
Yes.
Because then you can lick the spoon
Yes.
guilt free because it's measured
It's
and
measured.
it's part of it.
Yeah.
So I'll drizzle mine and have a little left and I'll lick
Yep.
that spoon. But it's
Funny.
part of the 10 grams.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep,
There's
that's
no guilt.
only way you
None
get
at
away with
all.
licking the spoon.
It's funny.
And there's a few other things that I've done that with, like just out of habit doing it that way. It's a really great way.
Coconut oil, like that's how I
Yeah.
do all that kind of stuff, like oils and
Oils, fats, a lot of those kind of
yeah,
things.
it's like fat stuff.
And also because if you're measuring things into a bowl and you put it in, you can't like take it out if there's too much. Like if you're pouring
For
oil.
like sauce or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It'll like spread.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
spread. Like sauces, I'll pour in, but I'm like careful. I'm like,
Yeah.
like you're
That's
you're
out of
just careful. You're just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
tipping back to like
Yeah.
you're just going back and forth.
yeah.
But yeah,
No,
That's
makes
something
sense.
like that's a good way to measure your peanut butter.
I know. That's so funny. I didn't know that. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize that peanut butter was that like intense.
Oh gosh, it is. Well,
Like
and
a
if you
whole
think
thing.
about with fats, the amount of calories per
Oh
gram
yeah,
Mhm.
9.
is so much more than a carb or a protein.
mm-hmm.
And so they add up quicker. The little licks, the little bites, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
an extra bite of chicken isn't going to add up as much as an extra spoonful of peanut butter.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
dramatically
Yeah.
different in calories.
It's almost yeah, it's almost double because
Almost
carbs
double.
and
Or more than
protein is 4.
double.
Yeah, more than double.
More than
yeah.
double,
more than
yeah.
double.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like when you like really realize that, that's where something like macro tracking really kind of like you learn those
Mhm.
things. Because if you
Mhm.
put those 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter in your MyFitnessPal, be like, oh, I ate those last night. You're like, oh shoot, that
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
even
so
that doesn't
surprised.
work.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens
Now the rest of my
really
day
fast.
is just screwed.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how much like the fats just add up. And it's like when you're get serious about prep, especially when you're closer to a show, it's like those little amounts, if you're sticking to it, your coach can't make adjustments if you're not on point.
Mhm.
Because if like the adjustments like a coach will make might be 5 grams of fat.
Yeah.
Well, if you had an extra spoonful of peanut butter, you're
You just took
already-
care of that.
Yeah.
You're already
If not
messed
more.
up, and he's assuming that you were on point,
Yeah.
or he or she was assuming you're on point, and so
Mhm.
it's like if they add the 5, you're already off, and the changes and adjustments won't make sense. So the coach can't even adjust anything.
Mhm.
So it's like really that's where it's like you kind of like looking at it big picture like that makes it almost even feel more important to stick to your macros or your meal plan because it makes it so that the coach can actually adjust the plan. Because like if they make no changes but you're not
Yeah.
on
yeah.
it,
It definitely messes with your progress.
it does. That's
Mhm.
where it messes the most, and it's only like helping your coach help you if you
Mhm.
execute.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes me think of another then and now. What about like how you took progress photos in the past versus now?
Yes.
I wish someone would have told me to buy a posing suit.
A posing suit,
Yeah.
a ring light, a tripod. I used to prop my phone up on a windowsill
Yeah, I did that too.
and like in front of, and like that was probably, which is, that works actually. And like,
Mhm.
but just, or no, I used to take my check-in pictures, in a room, a lit room. Like there was a light up at the ceiling and not in front of a window. That's right. And just these like, I don't know, just these lame pictures. Like these like not good looking.
Did you take video or did you take photo? Because you take photos. Both of you take photos now. Like you take still photos, right?
Yeah, I take still
video.
Okay. Yeah, I would photos, and I would just set the timer. I just set the 10-second timer on my phone, back up, and hit my pose. It was also my way of like practicing my posing without the mirror or without seeing myself in my phone and stuff. Because, and then, yeah. But now, like, or I didn't know that, like, you know, there's a recommended height, so it's similar to the judge's angle, which is like mid thigh or like hip level, kind of depending. It's like somewhere between mid thigh and hip level. Try to have your phone there, and then step back about 3 to 5 steps, about five. It's like 3 feet, 5 feet, or 5 steps. And that is like a little bit more what the angle that you know judges need. Didn't know that. No one told me that.
I took mine way too straight on for sure. So now, I do it a little lower, and then I used to take mine all over the house. Like one week I'd be here, another week I'd be over here.
Consistent.
So it wasn't consistent at all.
Yeah,
and then if you're trying to compare progress, it's hard because lighting's different, angle might be different. Yeah.
When I go back to try and look at like how far I've come and try to put them like side, I'm like, why did I do this? Like, they're just all so different.
Well, that's also why I was like, why didn't someone tell me to do a posing too? Because I was looking back and trying to like be like, oh, okay, I wanted to take these like photos of where I started and back in 2017. And I'm in like the most like I'm in like weird Victoria's Secret underwear. I'm like, why am I wearing that?
I'm wearing these like little booty shorts that I might have like hiked up more, and it's
funny.
Yeah,
why didn't I just get a practice suit?
I don't even want to post that because I just think it's like kind of tacky to be wearing that in a picture.
Fair. I had all these different colored bikinis. I'd be like in a teal one, like things I would just swim in.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I was just like
better though than like my underwear. Like, it was like
I have
thong,
to admit.
and it'd be just be like,
that's funny.
Why was I sending these?
That's funny.
Like I had bikinis. I owned bikinis. Like why wouldn't I just put a bikini on?
I also to taking check-in pictures and like wish I knew like the importance of having your like routine be consistent. So take it at the same time if you can. Take it at the same time every day. Like I try to make sure it's because we have check-in day, like our check-in day typically. So like the way my workout schedule is, like I typically don't train the day before. I don't do like I try to keep my body consistent. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
And like digestion consistent, food like I didn't know about. Honestly, I didn't actually know this until kind of recently. But like eating the same foods the night before, the day before. I mean, now I do, but just keeping your diet consistent, your water consistent, so that way your body looks consistent every week and on the same check-in day, same time. I back when I probably the first few years that I did like check-in pictures, like I didn't pay attention to that at all. I was changing out my foods all the time. I was eating it super late or super early, like. Yeah, I don't know.
It has
so
to be as
the
many
importance,
variables.
I guess, of consistency.
Yeah,
the importance
as many as you can.
Yeah,
and that's something I made a big change with, like macro tracking too. Because my very first prep, I did macros. Then I learned a ton doing meal prep for years, and then I've been able to do macros better this time around. And it wasn't that I wasn't eating whole foods. I actually did a really good job looking back at it. But what I realized that what I was doing differently is I would like scoop something, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that is 46 grams of this, instead of being like pre-planned it in my thing and being like, oh, you need 50 grams, and then I would measure out 50 grams. I had it like where I would measure first and then record it and be like, oh, I've got 1.2 ounces of chicken today.
That's a big one, because I mentioned that to my sister the other day, and she thought it was just an incredible idea, because I told her that I track like before and then you just follow it the day of, and she's like, I never thought of that.
Where we would just eat something, make
and then
something,
track
and eat it, and then put it in our Fitness Pal or whatever, our tracking, and then for the next meal we have, and then it's like when you're looking at your macros for the day, you're like, oh wait, I can only have this much food left. So
it's like budgeting
would
for
always
money.
be like
budgeting.
It's like budgeting.
My last meal would be like I thought that's what like a macro cap was. It's like people would post on like Instagram and be like, okay, well, so today I only have 10 grams of carbs left. And
like,
then
what can I eat?
Other days I used to have, oh shoot, I only have 15 grams of carbs. So I can do this, but I only have 3 grams of fat today when I normally have 8. So I have to do
So
something
we're
different.
having egg whites.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so it's just kind of like, I mean, those are really low numbers
just-
for a meal, but
yeah, but
then
it just
that's how
sets you
you're
up for
hungrier.
success.
It sets you up for success if you just
Mhm.
go in, and that's
Pre-plan.
also
And you're
like
less
not
anxious.
knowing. Back when I first started, I didn't know anything about meal timing. I didn't know anything about macro breakdown per meal, like how to
Yeah.
like and so or where to put carbs before and after your workout and fats before and after your workout, and how to just space out your meals, and how to that kind of thing. And because knowing meal timing and how much carbs and fats and proteins to have per meal helps you. It's inevitable we're going to be hungry, but it helps you not be as hungry. Whereas doing it how we used to do it, making food and then going towards the end of the day like, oh no, I can only have this much now for this meal. Oh no, I can only have I'm so and then you're just hungry at the end of the day. You're going to bed hungry.
And then you're battling your mind because then it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm so hungry. Maybe I can just, oh no. And then, you know, like you
Especially
have a whole mood and
and if
just
you're like a new
imagine.
competitor, you might want to reach for those bites because you haven't like you just don't have that skill of self-control yet, or that, you know, those behaviors
Yeah,
yet.
like have a snack or something. And then I'd track that in there, and then I would take that away from my meal later in the day. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
And so now we look at our day and we've got, okay, these are the times we eat. This is how many meals we eat. Let's divide up our, you know, our carbs, fats, and proteins per meal. This is when we're going to eat them. This is what we're eating. It's very structured. We're satisfied with our meals.
And you
for
make
the
it
most
work
part.
for you too, because I know, like for me, I usually don't eat my first meal early in the morning. It's usually later because of my work schedule and everything, and it works for me. My body's adjusted to it. And I also like to like feel a little fuller before I go to bed because I wake up to do fasted cardio, and that's just my preference.
It's exact same.
And so like for me, if I, you know, ate in the morning, like let's say I ate my last meal instead first thing in the morning, then it would be harder for me that day, like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. It would be a tougher day for me,
I'd be
for sure.
Yeah, because as soon as I start eating, I just get hungry, and then the clock starts. Like as soon as I start eating, the clock starts, and it's like, hey, 2-3 hours next meal, 2-3 hours next meal.
Yeah.
And so I do the kind of same thing. I fast a little bit and sip on my coffee and my waters and teas.
I love tea. In the morning.
And then I eat, and then that starts, and then I have my last meal.
Yeah.
Same thing. We do fasted cardio.
But it's just kind of like what you like, because I know I wasn't a huge breakfast person, even just growing up. I just didn't. It just wasn't my favorite. I like breakfast foods, but I just wasn't like Zach wakes up and he's like, I'm hungry. And I don't wake up and I'm like, I'm hungry. I like wake up and I'm like, okay, like I want tea. I want to like do my steps. I like walk the dog. Like there's just little things that I do before. And I don't know. It's probably a habit thing because I used to do like hot yoga in the morning.
Do you notice if it changes in improvement season when you're eating more food? Because that changes. Okay.
No.
I'm different. So that changes for me. In improvement season, when I'm eating more food, I typically have 4 meals a day in prep and then my creamy. Where in improvement season, I have 5 meals a day and my creamy. And so I will now add in an earlier breakfast in improvement season.
How much earlier though? Like right when you wake up?
Probably 2 hours. No, never right when I wake up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
it's always probably 2 hours after I wake up.
Yeah, so
okay.
I still do the same
kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'd eat a little earlier.
I just eat a little. I just add that. So instead of waiting until 10 or 11 to have my first meal, I eat at like 9 or 10, and then it just starts from there.
Yeah. So for us, that's like late morning. For some people, that's like
they need
early
to wake up
morning.
and eat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I wake up and need my. I mean, it's decaf coffee, but I need my little treat. That's my little treat comfort thing instead of food.
Yeah. I've had to learn to do that because I wake up starving. And all I can think about is like, okay, I really want my first meal. Like, I need it now. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to go do my coffee. I've actually started doing like a digestive drink too in the morning before my coffee to like help with like my stomach, just like for digestion, and have some glutamine and greens and things like that, and like put off my coffee a little bit and drink some water, and then I'll have coffee, and then I'll do my fasted cardio, and then I'll eat. I think one of the things that I would have wanted to, I wish when I first learned about competing, it wasn't as popular on social media, and we didn't have as many resources as we do now. But I didn't know that. What I wish I would have known is that like I shouldn't have hired my coach right when I wanted to start prep. I literally hired her and
That's a
said,
good one.
"Hi, I would love to do a show. Can I prep with you?" And like she said, yes. And we just went for it. And I mean, we did take 20 weeks, which is a good length of prep, but I had no, I've never tracked macros before. I had never done, I mean, I'd been working out and I had been lifting weights, but I never had done like her training program and things like that. And so that's something like I wish I would have known when I started, is that having a prep, or not having a prep, having a coach before prep is really, really helpful. It helps that you learn and prepare for prep, helps you grow muscle because it is ultimately bodybuilding and not a diet competition.
Yeah.
And then also it really, really helps with like just knowing how to do it before you're actually doing it.
Well, and working with your coach, like
They
you
learn
guys,
your body
yeah,
really
they
well.
learn you, but you need to learn their style too.
Yeah. I made the
So-
same mistake. I hired my coach and
Same.
I was like, "Okay, prep
I
time.
did
Let's
the
go."
same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your
And I
first
think that's what
coaches?
that's what.
Yeah, my
yeah,
first coaches.
coach,
I was
yeah.
annoying in the first one because I was all like, I was really annoying. I was like, I want to meet with everybody. Like, I met with 3 different like coaches like in person and like went for coffee and like was like, okay, like I want to get to know you, because I was just very like, I had heard the competitor horror stories of like, competitors being run into the ground and like their metabolism and all these things. And so I don't know, I was kind of scary. I was like, I have questions and like, I want to meet you, da da da.
Yeah,
So,
I actually, so something I wish I would have known then that I know now is like how is the expectation of like having a coaching consultation call.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my coach and was just like, I want to hire you. Like, how do I sign up with you?
okay, so you didn't do, yeah.
I didn't do like tons of, I mean, I went to a show and a lot of her girls placed in the top 5 or won their classes. And so I was following those girls on Instagram and then saw who their coach was. And I was like, okay, I will go with her. And I want to try working with her. And so I just reached out and asked like, hey, I want to compete.
Yeah.
I'd like to work with you.
And I think that's more normal because
Yeah.
I got looks. They were like, you want to go for coffee? And I'm like, yeah. I want
Yeah.
to meet
Yes, I
you.
do. I'm going to interview you.
Right.
But yeah, and so then I just like I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't ask any really. I mean, I asked how to sign up and when I get my workout program and my nutrition program, and then ever since that one, then I learned along the way and paying attention to the sport and things like this podcast and stuff. But that like it's okay to kind of interview them, to ask questions and kind of what are my questions and to set up a consultation call and not just hire someone.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's also giving the coach time to work with you. I think is just really important because like we all just jumped into it and it's like and it's like I think now it's more common for a coach to say something and be like, yes, I'll coach you, but I would like to work with you first. Or
Yeah.
like, have you
Yes.
considered an improvement season before prep?
Yeah.
We also called it off season more and not improvement season as much. Like I know the terms are the same or it's interchangeable.
It's just easier to say off season sometimes though.
It is.
Yeah, sometimes it
Like,
is, but I
off-season.
do like
I do like improvement.
Yeah, I
season.
like the idea behind, like the intent behind the words. I
Yes.
like that because
You're-
when I first started, I guess possibly the same for you guys, but when it was off season, it was like off
season.
Like I was not thinking about bodybuilding. I was eating whatever I wanted, like those kind of things. So I like the intent behind the
Yeah.
words, but I agree with you. Sometimes it's just easier.
Sometimes
to be
you
like,
just
okay, this is
accidentally say it.
off-season,
You
but
just say it.
Yeah, I
but-
still
Yeah.
say it sometimes.
yeah.
And I think another word that's changed over time is instead of cheat meal, it's now refeed meal.
I like that too.
But they're done
or
better
free
now.
meal. People
Free
say
meals.
free
Yeah.
meal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a
Instead
free.
of cheat because
Because it's like cheating.
if your coach told
Doesn't sound
it's
right.
not-
right?
cheating, I mean it.
Cheating just has a negative connotation.
yeah.
Yes.
It has a
yes.
negative
I would
connotation.
say cheating though is like if you're in prep and you're not supposed to. If
Yeah.
your
That's cheating.
That
coach
is,
didn't
yeah.
tell you
Absolutely.
and you went and like just had a meal or
Yeah.
ate a cupcake,
Yeah.
that's cheating on
Yes.
your diet.
Yeah.
You cheated.
Yeah, exactly. No,
But but if your coach or it's part of the plan
Yeah.
or like you're just it's just your coach gives you an intuitive eating day.
Mhm.
It's not a cheat day. It's
Yeah.
your intuitive eating day. Your coach gave you that and it's part of the plan. You guys have worked up to that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
really fine. That's totally fine.
Definitely has changed a lot over
Speaking
time.
of cheat meals, speaking of that,
Yeah.
that's something I wish I knew then that I didn't know now is that Cody was. I'm not good at
He's
knowing
like,
how
here
this
she
all
goes again.
is that like I probably actually have already talked about this, but my past coach that first year coach would give us cheat meals
Yep.
in prep
Yep.
once like a day to just eat whatever, and how much like easier maybe my prep would have been, or how much better I would have looked if I just had more structured refeeds and not told like you can just go eat what you want. I don't think a brand new person to competing, because you are learning so much about food and mental behaviors, and like that should just be told like you've been dieting for 6 days straight, crazy, doing all this cardio, all this working out, and then go eat whatever you want. It's like, oh, what? The like leash is off, and you can just no. And so now like
unrestricted.
Just unrestricted. No, I wish I knew the importance of like of not doing that now, because
and that you can't out-train a bad diet. My first coach, if I cheated on my diet or we had a cheat meal and he thought that I overdid it or something, he'd be like, okay, well, just do an extra 45 minutes of cardio.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. One of my friends actually, we used to be like little cardio buddies. Like we'd meet at the gym and we'd go and do cardio together. And this one day she threw up on the Stairmaster.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
Yep. It was terrible. I don't even think
just
I was
from
there
eating so
actually.
much and then doing cardio.
Well, yeah, and then and she ended up not getting on stage afterwards because she ate off her diet and was just done with it, because it is a mental thing too, right? Like, and when you sometimes it can be tied to emotions and things like that. And when you don't have, a coach that is aware of those things in terms of structuring things, and they tell you can do extra cardio to get rid of what you ate, that's absolutely not true. Never ever do that.
No.
But these are all just things that I kind of learned. Yeah, and then looking back on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why I looked like that on stage. It was not a good time. But I love kind of looking back and the lessons that we learned too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've all grown so much from those lessons. Sometimes it's like nice to, not nice, but sometimes you need to experience things to actually learn the lesson.
Yeah,
hopefully, maybe even listening to some of our lessons can help someone.
You might still experience it. You might still go through it, but then there could be that little birdie in your ear that's like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Like, back up. I heard, like, but you might still experience it, and you might need to experience it for you to learn from it, because sometimes we just have to experience things ourselves to learn and know whether we want to go that route or don't want to go that route.
Absolutely.
Something, this is not food related or anything, but suits. So,
that's a good one. Just thinking that in
that's
my
a
head
good
too.
one.
Okay. Yeah. So something that wasn't like, and it's probably just that the sport has evolved and knowledge and information that's available has just evolved. Like, there's more of it, and there's more people that are experts in their field and their niche and in this industry that are talking about it. But it wasn't like explained that like I wish I knew just how to pick a suit color and how to pick connectors. A lot of times as a first time competitor, like, they don't know that you should be, there's kind of a standard look for a suit. There's like, we typically go with like a single string or a double string connector. We don't go with like loops on the hips. We don't go with chunky things on the connectors. There's like 1 to 2 designs, and that's kind of it.
Where it is now.
Yeah, where it is now. That's the standard. And so, but sometimes I'll still see people get like, because suit companies still sell those kind of connectors.
Yeah.
And so they're available.
Yeah.
And so, and as a new competitor, you don't know what the standard is.
Yeah.
And so you just think like, oh, this looks pretty and cute. And so
sometimes it's distracting.
Yeah, sometimes it's distracting, or it looks clunky, but also just suit color. There's girls that will get like whites and like,
or unmatched bottom and top. They just like don't like their bottom and top don't match.
You seen that?
Yes.
What? Oh yes, yeah, yes. Or like in bikini, like designs, like we don't do that. It's just not.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah,
don't.
There's a you don't want to be distracting, and you don't want to be that kind of unique. Like, it's just, you'll stand out and not in a not good way.
Yeah. All attention is not good attention.
Yeah. And like how many stones to have on your top. Like, my very first suit had very spaced out stones. And now now the look is that more like cluttered, like, or that,
fully
crystalled.
I think I had an outlined one before where it was like, where like the outside, the
triangle was outlined with stones.
Yeah.
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 I wish someone would have told me that it's worth wearing a high quality suit.
Yeah.
Because like my very first suit was, do you guys remember muscledazzle.com?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a muscle dazzle suit.
I have some.
I thought it was the best thing ever, but it's only, I really wanted it because I wanted to save money.
Is it like off Etsy?
Uh,
They might sell on Etsy.
They
or
might sell on
something.
Etsy
Yeah.
now, but they had like a whole website back in the day, and it was very interesting. And there was like a kind of a molded top, and it was just like not the look.
I don't remember.
But like I did it because I was a new competitor trying to save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are ways to save money. We
I have
talked
clients who ask me about it. That's why. Yeah.
yeah, we talked about this on one of our other episodes when we talked about suit colors. But you can, if you're not willing to or not able to, afford, buying a full high custom designed suit, because they're expensive. They can be $800 to $1,000.
Which I think is normal. If you're just starting to compete, you don't know if you're going to compete for like years and years,
Yeah.
and it's your first
Just
time.
rent.
I don't want to put
Rent a
$800
suit.
down.
No way.
Like,
No way.
Rent a suit, borrow a suit. It is totally fine to borrow from a
You
friend.
don't need to buy a one.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy a new one.
And it's like I felt like when I did my first prep, I needed everything to the max. I bought hair extensions, I bought a suit, I
Yeah.
bought
Same.
everything. I had the perfect robe. I had shoes just for backstage. They weren't just. I was like, oh my gosh. Now I wear these black sandals and stuff, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I went all out, and I spent so much extra money, and it's like, yes, details matter when you're on stage, but there's so many things about the day that like you got to let go of some of the stress. Like it will make your day and your show experience go so much better.
Yeah.
One thing that makeup. So I
yeah.
wish I didn't. I've always hired a makeup artist because I was never like that into makeup like that where I knew I could do it myself. So I've always used a makeup artist, but I didn't know the importance of researching makeup artists that know competition makeup.
Oh.
There's a difference, stage makeup.
Yeah.
And there's a difference of dance stage makeup than there is competition makeup because and so I didn't do my research and my makeup turned out okay-ish, but like if you look at it compared to now, like the girls we use now, they are experienced in competition, competing makeup, and it is matching the tan, the contouring that has to be done, the kind of look you have to create to like have it look like beautiful and natural on stage, but it looks really dramatic in person.
Yeah.
And so that's their specialty. And so I didn't, back then, my first several makeup artists were just like girls who were makeup artists and did like photo shoot makeup and dance makeup.
Yeah.
But like, that's so different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember I had bubblegum pink lipstick. Oh my God.
What?
Oh my
I did like
God.
this, like
Yep.
burnt red, like, I don't know. It was just.
I think I burnt all the photos. I think they're gone. I think.
That's funny. One of my next thoughts on like then and now is I was going to say like for your first show or even your first couple, buy the photos. Buy the video.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have a hard time finding mine.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as good at taking pictures of other things and documenting it.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately, I have
now
so
more
many.
is online, like NPC
Yeah.
News Online. They actually post like 15, 20
Right.
photos. But like when I did it, they posted like 4. And so there was like no good shots, but they had photographers there and
Yeah.
could have bought the package. And I can't go back now. And like, I just think it would be cool now to look back on that and like
Yeah.
actually see what I look like in all those photos.
Yeah.
That
It's kind of cool. It's
Yeah.
kind of embarrassing.
It's,
I think it's cool. Like,
it's
I do.
We can still go back to the MPC website.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what else I did
yeah.
wrong? Actually, talking about the MPC website. I put Steph on a couple of my entry forms and Stephanie on other
Oh, so you
ones.
got
And
two
so I have
different
two
entries, like-
different entries.
Oh,
Someone
that's-
missed
that's
Is that annoying?
irritating.
I want them to combine them, but you
Yeah.
have to look me up 2 times because it doesn't show all of my.
Oh, this just happened to
Shows.
me this year. So all of my photos are under Lauren Kralovic, right?
Yeah.
But then on the one my top 5 placing at Clash, my best placing I've ever had as a pro, someone mistyped my name and it's just
No.
Lore.
So now you have 2 entries?
Oh no.
But it's just Lore. Even if you type Lauren, it's not
It's
there.
not gonna come
it's just
up.
Laure.
You'd have to just put in your
Oh,
last
no.
name.
Yeah,
Will
someone-
it come up if you just put in your last name?
Yeah, but my
Yeah.
best placing ever just doesn't show
Oh.
up. If
Oh,
you
that's-
like look
oh,
through all
that
my
hurts.
photos
Oh,
because it's
that
on its
hurts.
own little
Yeah,
random
Mine was
I
like,
would be
oh, that-
upset.
yeah, that hurts.
I emailed them and nobody replied.
I would be upset.
Oh
Oh.
But I was like, that's just sad. So make sure to spell your name fully
Use your
typed
legal
it
Yeah,
name.
right.
use your legal name, your full name. Don't just
full
be like,
legal
oh,
name.
yeah, my nickname this time.
'Cause it's
That
so
is
cool.
so odd.
And I'm just so OCD about like records. I just
Yeah.
like want it
Yeah.
all in the
This
same
is driving
place.
you
Yes.
wild. You're just
I'm like,
Drives
okay,
me
now I just have to
crazy.
place
maybe
better.
just keep emailing them every quarter. Just like maybe someone will answer me.
That's
Maybe.
funny.
Go
And
up
now
to
I'll just be
Tyler
like, I just have to
Manning.
place better, and then compete more, and that'll just slowly fall off
Yep.
the radar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You won't even think about it.
It's
We'll,
funny.
won't worry about it then.
That's funny.
I was like, really? That one? Of all
Of
the
all of
ones?
them.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been the one where I was like wearing a weird color suit and that like had like 4 photos. Not that one, right? That one's on there. But yeah, I would document it. Like buy the photos, take all the pictures, take pictures with all your family, friends, document the experience. Like
Mhm.
I look back and there's like a few of my first shows where I'm like, why didn't I like get more? Like I want to look back on those memories because they were really special.
Yeah.
The whole journey is. I know sometimes you start competing a lot. Like I've done 19 shows. Like it's a lot of money to buy photos for all of them. I did not buy the photos for all of those shows.
Yeah.
But some of your first ones, I really wish I would have done the first ones because
Mhm.
you never get a first show again.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a special
Like
moment.
a first show, your first national show, maybe
Yeah.
your
Mhm.
first
Maybe.
pro show, if you make it like those
Yeah.
kind of firsts. Yeah.
Special
and-
special moments.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of photographers nowadays are doing where you can actually buy package like right after too.
Yes.
So if you had a good placing or something,
Yeah.
except for some of them do only buy in advance, so
Yeah.
check.
Yeah,
sure
you gotta
first.
check to make sure.
But you can always like I think I emailed a photographer this last year and bought the day after.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Do you guys
yeah.
have any tan then and nows? For me, it was then I used to spray, and now I do it myself. But I didn't really have any.
yeah.
I've never had any really like horrible, obviously
I've
like
always
tan.
had a bad tan until this year, so I guess everything I know now, I wish I knew then.
That's
I've put it on Instagram. I don't know. It's just that I guess just the importance of skincare and what that
Yeah.
actually means a lot. Okay, here
And
this
skin
is
prep,
this is a
yeah.
more valuable answer. Is skin prep isn't just what you do in peak week, and that's what I was kind of taught with my first coach.
Mhm.
Like peak week, start your skincare. Like 10 days out, do this. And it's not that. It's what you do
Mhm.
all year round. It's how you take care of your skin. Your skin's an organ. Like you got to take care of it
Mhm.
all year round. And but even if you don't all year round, the minute you start prep, you should. Usually a prep is anywhere from 3, 4, 5 months, like depending on. Just start exfoliating, start moisturizing
Yeah.
religiously. Start so like for example now I use this hydrating aloe vera organic soap. It is as like no fragrance, like it smells like soap, like it's clean, but
Yeah.
I don't use a high fragrance soap or lotions or any kind of exfoliant. I use a mitt to exfoliate. I use exfoliating mitts and that soap. That's it. I
Mhm.
just keep it very simple. I do extra things like red light therapy and a little bit of tanning bed. But if you're not doing that, then exfoliate year round and hydrate.
Often do you exfoliate? I usually exfoliate once a week.
So if it's
Personally.
twice a week, if it's like my improvement season, like my normal
Mhm.
life, it's twice a week.
Mhm.
When I'm in prep, I up it to 3, and then I do have and then now that it's between shows and like leading up to shows,
Yeah.
it's typically. So it becomes like 4 days because it's every other day,
Okay.
and I do a gentle. Now my skin might be different.
Yeah.
I struggle with dry skin. I struggle with just
Yeah.
so I do it very gently. I don't go crazy on the exfoliating.
Do you use like a body scrub, like with like
no, I
almost
just
like
use a mitt and the aloe vera soap.
Oh,
I
okay,
literally
okay.
just use a mitt
Okay.
because I don't want any chemical. Like I
Yeah.
don't. I am very just because I've had so many tanning issues
Yeah.
and like sensitive skin issues.
Mhm.
The aloe vera hydrating soap that I use, it's a bar soap and it has literally like 3 ingredients and
Mhm.
it's very natural
Mhm.
and it has no chemicals, no fragrance, and I just wear mitts and then
Yeah.
I slather it up and that's how I exfoliate.
Okay,
And then
okay.
I put lotion on after every shower and
Did you not put lotion on after every shower before?
no, I hate lotion. So this is a tidbit for you.
Really?
I hate putting on lotion even today. Like I hate it.
I've been
It's
doing
so-
it since I was a kid.
Lotion has to be like almost fragrance free for me. I can't do fragrance.
I
Like
don't do
I
any.
even have like a hand lotion that like I've been using.
So like
lately.
after
I
the
can't
shower, you just
put it
like
on.
towel
would
dry and then put on clothes.
Put on clothes. Yeah. I did that for years.
Lots
Yeah.
of people do.
I don't anymore. I don't anymore.
I put lotion on because
But-
I
That
have
is
really
crazy.
dry
yeah,
skin.
now I do. I have to put lotion on, but I never did, and
That's nuts. I
I
thought that was
hate it.
just
It's
Zach.
so inconvenient to me.
A
and
lot of
it's-
guys.
That's crazy.
it's so
Because now
annoying.
he does it because I do.
I just hate the feeling of like, I don't know why. I don't
You
like
have to-
being
I have to
moist.
let it dry.
moisture.
I
But
have
see,
to
I'm
have
always
time.
in such a hurry, and I hate it. I
Yeah,
just it
That's
takes.
so funny.
But
My
now I
skin
do.
feels crackly.
Yeah,
Like my face, if I don't put on lotion after.
I put face
showers,
lotion
like,
on. Like, well, now I put lotion on everywhere, but prior to this new
Yeah.
regimen,
That's so funny.
yeah, I would always put face lotion on, but not body lotion.
Yeah. One thing I discovered in past preps is there was a year I wore a waist trainer a lot, and I didn't realize how much it rubbed my skin, and I ended up getting like a line
Oh.
where it was like dry or rubbed
Oh.
and down the center
Ow.
where the pieces met.
Yeah.
And so when I put my tan on, it actually muddied my abs a little bit right there because that
Oh.
skin was rough.
Like a braided, yeah.
Yeah, like abrasive. So I've had things. Oh my gosh! Last year when I was doing back-to-back shows and I couldn't get my tan off my ankles, I used a pumice stone, and I literally scratched my skin. I didn't know I was. I thought I was just scraping the tan off, but it actually scratched the layer off. So when I put the tan on it, it was a different color and it looked very patchy. So I would say be very cautious and aware of like your skin and where things might be rubbing, abrasions, if you wear any sort of like wraps or waist trainers and things like that, that if it's affecting your skin, even like a certain line of your clothes or your sports bra, if you're getting like rubs or something, you might need to change up what you're doing or how you're wearing it, because those will show when you put the tan on.
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me with the waist trainer, which I don't wear one anymore, but that happened a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of different, just because
Yeah,
your
it's a
skin is
little different.
sensitive. And
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm. I get that tan off right away. I don't go out after.
you-
I need to go home
Rinse it off.
and rinse it off.
Yes,
There's
it's
no
the
way.
best.
But you have like
feeling.
one small layer, like
So it's
I-
still
It's
gross.
It's still sticky.
It's still sticky and
Yeah,
nasty.
Oh,
the
I have to
glaze-
rinse
the
that off.
glaze you
That's
have
the
to
best
rinse off.
feeling.
for sure.
yeah.
Feels so
Yeah.
fresh.
And then I have to do that weird thing because I'm like trying not to get my
your
face.
makeup on. So you're
Yeah,
like,
my face wet
yeah,
in any
yeah.
way, and like my hair's up, and I'm like,
Yep. You're going around the water like
yeah.
this. Yeah.
No, I love it. I'm like, I look at the water, I'm like, oh, it's off. I could just see it. It's like all
That's
coming
such a
off.
fresh
Oh my
feeling.
gosh, it feels so
Something
good.
that I wish I knew then was that you don't have to collect treats.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good
And
one.
like,
Yes.
Except for the crumble that's in your fridge for me, because they only
Yes.
did
Oh,
that
I have to
cinnamon
remember
roll
that.
once.
Oh
You
my God.
better remember that. That's your only job.
because
one
it was
thing.
that it was
Pick
the
one
cinnamon
thing.
roll.
Yeah,
So after
was
my
one
show,
thing.
I had like a third of it.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't tell you about this.
You ate my cinnamon roll.
Well, I had a third, but there's still 2/3 left for you.
I'm just
But no,
kidding.
it was the greatest thing of all time.
We almost
It's
broke up the
good.
It was
Bikini
really
Besties.
good. So
Crumble, bring it back.
I cut it and warmed it up in the microwave and ate it. I was not expecting it to be good.
Is it
because
that
it's been
good?
it was so good.
Oh my
It was
gosh,
so
she's ready.
hard, Steph, to
Stop.
not continue eating your half. Like it was.
I feel so loved now. Okay, okay.
It was really hard.
For a second,
it
I
was-
was like,
So you
mm.
got to warm it up and you got to like, yeah. Oh man,
Oh,
it
I'm
was
excited.
good. Okay,
I'm
anyways, that
excited.
so treats.
That's
So
funny.
one little thing is fine. Like Steph made me a thing. Like she's made
Yeah.
like stuff. Like that's fine. Like that's a fun thing. But don't spend your entire prep collecting cookies,
Yes.
brownies, like ordering those
And then
big
bringing
giant
it all
ones
with you
and
and
bringing it
having
all with
just
you.
a
There is going to be
stash.
candy
Yes.
and treats there. Like when
Yes.
you go to a show, there's going to be stuff. And so, have your bite because the least that you can have with you, that's the least that you'll eat. Like when you
Yeah.
bring it with you and you have it available and you're hungry and it's post show, it just gives you this excuse to eat all this unnecessary stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
Just
good.
don't bring anything.
Yeah.
Maybe bring one thing. If you have one
One
little thing,
treat.
one treat, maybe bring that because there's going to be stuff there. You're going to go out to eat and get more.
Yeah.
And so just save it for that. Also, don't fill your pantry. Don't come home to a prep pantry and fridge, not a
Yes.
post prep
Yeah.
pantry and fridge.
Yeah.
Don't hide all your treats in your fridge and your pantry and keep them there. And then when you come home and you're starving, because now you've eaten a bunch of food post show, so that metabolism is now going, and those hunger cues are just out the window. Like you're just hungry. If you have all these treats in your pantry or your fridge, it's going to be easier to eat them.
Yeah.
So if they're just not there, and you just have your
Yeah.
normal chicken and vegetables and your regular food, and you have to actually, if you really want something, you have to go out. You can maybe think before you do it.
Exactly.
So
One thing that's helped me is I have like a top 3 like treat list, of like things that I really, really, really want, but
Mhm.
I can't have more than 3. So I've actually like knocked stuff off because I'm like, no, I actually want this
You
more.
prioritize it.
Yeah, and so I prioritize it. So then, like throughout prep, if I have one of those days, it's for some reason mentally it makes me feel better to just like write, oh, I want this from this place,
Mhm.
and then like when it comes to the end of prep, I'm like, okay, do I really want these things? But if I keep it to those 3, it helps me from being too like greedy and like just I don't know, just
My-
yeah.
My thing is like I've totally gotten away, and this just happens with I think experience doing the sport, but is that and so my thing, the reason why I don't collect things anymore is because to me it's always preservative-y and it
Yeah.
never tastes as good as you want it to be.
No, it
ever.
never ever.
And so buying something that you have to store, I'm just like, nope, that's immediately now just off my list
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
And and so typically if I want something, I make a list. If a post show,
Mhm.
I always tell like Ronnie, if like if he and I are going on a date night post show or something, I want a donut. I have to have a
Yeah.
donut, but it's something I'm going out and getting. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go buy donuts and then
Yeah.
save them in my pantry. So I want a donut. I want sweet potato fries,
Mhm.
and then I decide on the entree if it's like a steak or a salad or
Yeah.
like
And so
cherry
you
nachos
keep it-
or
yeah.
something. But it's like you.
Mhm.
I have my staple things, but I have to go out and get them.
Yeah.
I don't bring them into the house because
Yeah.
it's never worth it.
No,
Yeah.
ever. One of mine is red candy. I love red candy. So before,
Wait, just any red candy
yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the other
color red?
colors. I just like red. I don't know.
of all the.
Yep.
All the
Like,
flavors
yep,
of red.
I like the red.
Cherries.
Yes,
my
thank
God.
Oh,
you.
those are good.
So Zach and
those
I
are
will go to like the those like
My
candy
mouth's watering.
stores,
Mhm.
and I'll go and I'll just like take red of every single, and
Oh.
it's like a
Oh,
red
that's
bag of candy. So
interesting.
Swedish
Okay.
fish, cherry sours.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
I partaked in eating these red candies.
Yeah,
Okay.
he made fun of me. He made fun of me, but then it was really good.
Then he
it was
understood.
pretty
It's like a
good.
trail mix of red candy.
Okay.
I'm
It's really good.
more of a chocolate person.
Yeah.
Chocolate, caramel,
That's funny.
caramel.
Yeah.
caramel's my
Desserty,
thing.
like yeah.
Yeah, so I would rather, candy wise, go.
I'm a a chocolatey, fattier, like a
Yeah.
Reese's,
Really?
like that kind of
Oh,
Reese's,
I love
that
Swedish
stuff.
fish and cherry sours.
Yeah.
I'm not like a
Mm.
sugary candy person. I'm a
Yeah, I'd rather have like even like
milky candy person.
I'm
I don't like
actually
chocolate
a
that
cookie
much.
person over a
Oh.
donut person.
Mhm.
I would
I
rather have a
know.
cookie.
I don't. I don't really
No
like. I like
coffee, no
Reese's,
ice cream, no
but
chocolate.
I don't. There's no other real chocolate
Besides
that I like.
Reese's.
What? Oh,
No.
I could just go for just a plain dark chocolate bar, like
Oh,
just
yeah.
a plain dark chocolate bar.
See, I'd want it in
Love.
something. I like when I put like dark chocolate chips in my
Yeah.
oatmeal. I like that. I
That's
wouldn't just
super
eat
good.
dark chocolate.
Oh,
Oh no, I eat
Yeah.
my. I
Bars
like to
of
eat my little
chocolate.
dark chocolate chips. I like to munch on those. That's good. Yeah.
What
yeah,
am I saying?
Those
I'm
are
in
ones I
peak
can't
week.
have in the house anymore.
You have to oh,
Those are ones I know I will grab a couple at a time.
really?
Those
Oh.
ones I will get into.
They're behind things. They're behind my flavored coffee stash.
That's funny.
I will get into them.
I love
There's
that.
no
You have
point.
like roadblocks.
They just
yeah. Yeah. I
That's
do.
so funny.
So I think another then now is so from a like if you're a new competitor like when so a lot of the bigger promoters I don't think send out lists anymore. I feel like it's smaller shows that do, but some shows will send out a list of competitors for your show like the week of. Some shows don't. And
Yeah.
so like we used to like get the list and like look at the list and like go search and look up everyone that's competing and
That's how I found you, by the way.
oh, well then I guess it's okay. Well now you're disproving my whole
That's funny.
But like you would go on Instagram or social media, Facebook, and you would look up who you're competing against and kind of get in your head a bit
Yeah.
about like, oh no, they look like this. I look
Are
like
they my
this,
height?
and,
Are they gonna
yes,
be in
are they
my
gonna
class?
And you just stress and get all
That's
this
so funny,
anxiety
yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
And now I never look at a list. Like honestly, I don't even pay attention to if a list is getting sent out, and I just show up and I just do it because
Yep.
you can't control it. You can't, and there's no worries about you just can't control who's doing the show. And also, what I didn't know then that I know now is that a lot of us we look different on Instagram than we do on
Absolutely.
stage. Like it just is what it is. We find the good lighting on Instagram, the good angles,
The good photo after 100 of them.
Yes, yep. We've got videographers and
Yeah.
photographers that are
Yeah.
taking pictures of us. Like
Mhm.
we're putting up the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
pictures
The
and
highlight
stuff.
reel.
Yeah, and when we get on stage, sometimes we look that great, sometimes we don't. Sometimes or it just looks different.
Mhm.
And so, who you're going up against, you can't judge what based off their
Yeah.
Instagram.
Stress is not worth it.
It's not
just
worth
not
it.
worth
It
that
takes the
time and
fun away.
energy. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it takes the fun
Yeah,
away. And
the comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yeah, you just gotta get
Yeah.
up there and do your
Like,
best.
yeah, the only thing you can control is bringing your best.
Right.
Yeah, even I've known not to look, and there's so many shows I never looked, but last year there was a show I looked, and there was like a girl, and she looked amazing, like just incredible on Instagram, just so muscular. And she ended up being one of the smaller girls when she got there. She just posed really well for photos, which a lot of people do. So it's like, I was worried over something that wasn't even like,
Real.
real or
Real?
issue for you.
well, it was real. I mean, she's real.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't really like who I should have been if I was really going to be stressing over who was going to.
It shouldn't have been
be
a
o-
concern. Like,
Yeah, it just shouldn't have been something I did because it was something that took my energy away from
Yeah,
focusing on
that's the biggest
me
thing.
and what I can do.
The energy and time, which you don't have a lot of during prep. So why
Exactly.
spend
I
it on
catch,
that?
like, I'll admit it now. Well, because, and as you go about the sport more, we start following the people we compete with. Like, you start following them on Instagram and social media. And so you are seeing them.
Yeah.
You know what they look like. You know what they look like on stage. You know what they look like off on Instagram. You know what they look like off stage. And I've sent you guys stuff. I've said
Yeah.
like, oh my God, she's got way bigger glutes. Like like I have
Yeah.
said that I know I've done this.
Yeah.
But then I literally at that same time, I'll like do my little mini freak out for like 1 second. And then I go, it's all about what it looks like on stage.
Yeah.
Yes,
She may not
that
look like that on
day.
stage. Her overall, like, and first of all, you have to see what you look like next to them.
Yes.
Like, everyone looks great individual, but then once you line everyone up, then you see the flaws. Then you see the striking. Like,
Yep. And from like for me also posing matters too because
Yeah.
I've not always been the strongest poser. So, maybe it took me like 3 or 4 tries to get into that perfect front pose and then I get on stage and I don't hit it like that. So just from experience that is also a huge thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's like something that like could stress you out so much over something you don't need to stress over. I mean, there's good things like I found you because I
Yeah.
like to
became
follow
friends.
people, but I was building
Yeah.
community. Like
Yeah.
I was looking for other competitors because I was in a place where I didn't know very many, and I didn't know anyone going to my show, and I was like just looking at people,
Yeah.
and so that was
That's different.
That's
okay.
different.
Like a
I
bit
still
of
do that. I love that.
balance.
I love
and that's
that.
like on the pro we do our like you said where we follow most of the people. Like when a list comes out for a pro show, I know 90%
Right.
of the names already, so I'm not looking them up like because I
You already know who they
already
are.
know who they
Yeah.
are. Because we like to follow everybody and build that community. So there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong
Support
with
each other.
following your competitors and supporting them and stuff, as long as you have kind of more of the mindset of like all rising tides. Like what is it? Rising tides raises all ships. Yeah.
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah. I was like, I'm
I
gonna
was
mess
like,
this
yeah.
up. I was like, I started the quote, and then I like
Gotta finish it.
That's
I
funny.
didn't get the line. But like, it's like, if you're supporting other people, they're supporting you, and that's the time where it's okay to like look up and connect with people.
Yeah.
But like looking up to compare is only gonna do you.
At a service.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
maybe make you doubt yourself and not
Yeah.
bring the most confidence that you
Yeah.
can have.
Yeah.
Because like part of like your presentation, your stage presence is confidence. So if
Yeah.
you spent all these hours looking at these pages and dinging your confidence over and over and over again, how are you going to bring your best, most confident self and feel good and enjoy the experience?
Yeah.
Like you're
Agreed.
not.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge one. I used to look at the lists all the time just because.
But no, the supportive nature, of just knowing that you're kind of all in it together, is like, I don't know, it's something that not a lot of people do. And it's nice to find community in that. So I'm all for the positive energy.
Yeah, like it is an individual sport. Like we're the ones competing, getting ready for the show. Like we're the ones up on stage competing against each other.
Yeah.
But like it's like we're all doing, it's the community part. We're all
Yeah.
doing the same thing. We're all doing it like, together, and like just have fun and don't look at the girls next to you as like competition. Look at them like your friends. Like we're
Yeah.
all just, doing this hard thing together. And if you look at it that way, you're going to have more fun doing it. And yeah.
And honestly, would you want to win if you didn't bring your best? Like, I don't know.
No.
I wouldn't want to win if I didn't bring it. Like
No.
I would want to know that I beat my last package. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
most focused on, is that I look better than I did the last time I was on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care what she looks like
Right.
next to me. Like, she should be focused on the fact that she looks better than the last time she was on stage, right? Because to get a trophy and win when you know you didn't, like, or you cheated on your diet, you didn't do all your cardio, you did whatever it is, I don't know. I don't feel like it would feel as good.
Yeah.
You know? So
Agreed.
I think,
True.
focusing on that, and then that adds to the positivity, because then all of you have brought your best and you all feel good, whether you're second or fifth or seventh or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And also another is that, how do I word this? You're not, when I first started, I thought, like, I think I had, like, winning on the mind more than anything. Like, I needed to win, like, first place. And if I didn't get first place, I lost. And that's not necessarily true.
no.
Because you're going to lose in this, if you look at it that way, you are going to lose in the sport more than you win, because you're not always going to get a first place. You're not going to win every show you do. And that's part of progressing in this sport. And sometimes you might ping pong. Sometimes you might get a first. Then you might come to the show and get a third. You might get a second. You might go back and get a fifth, because it all depends on who shows up.
Absolutely.
And so it's all about who shows up. It's all about just that day, that show, and what the competition is, what the judges are looking for. So look at, like, are you beating your best? Are you listening to the feedback and improving on that, and looking at that kind of stuff as your win? You know, are you progressing? And just being, like, objective. Like, don't take things maybe so personally. Like, when you get your feedback, like, look at who you were standing next to, take that feedback, look at them, and then try to be as objective as possible and say, yeah, I need more muscle. Yeah, I could have been
I can
leaner.
see where you're,
You know?
because I've experienced both, where I've won my class at a show and I was disappointed. I was not happy, like, because I knew I didn't bring my best. You know, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some sort of digestion issue and my coach and whatnot. But I didn't bring my best, and it did not feel good. I got first, but I mean, I felt better at fourth or at seventh or at whatever, a different competition. So I think it's really about you, because I think if you tie it to the placing, you're in for not a good time.
Yeah, no,
Not a good time.
And if you beat yourself up or a not good placing or less than placing and give up, that's only doing yourself a disservice too. Because even if you place low at a specific show, doesn't mean that you're not a good competitor or that you can't go far. I have placed very poorly in a lot of my amateur days. Like, there's people who are like, oh, you're a pro, you've done so many shows, you've done so well. I'm like, I had to build to that. Like, sure, my first couple shows were small and I got like second place and stuff. But then, like, my fourth show, I went to Emerald Cup and I got 10th at a regional show, and it was my fourth show. So it's like I felt like I had done a few. But if I had given up instead of, like, taking a long off season after that, evaluating where my coaching was, working harder, switching to meal plan, doing all these things to make myself grow as an athlete. And then I came back, and then finally, like, in 2019 was one of my best, like, regional years that I ever did. And it made a huge difference. But if I would have given up after that 10th place because I was like second, third.
Yeah, if you were
10th.
just tied to that placing. Yeah.
I would have, yeah. And then even in 2019, my first national show, I was in the last call outs. And then the very next show I did was the same show a whole year later. I was third place, one place from my pro card. Like, if I would have done that, let that last call out at my first national show kind of write how I felt about myself as an athlete, then I would have given up a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of have to, you know, like, realize that, like, that placing doesn't define who you are as an athlete. It's how hard you're working and how much you're willing to get back up, do the work, see what you need to improve on, and then actually do it and improve. And then you can be proud of yourself when you do get the accomplishments, when you do win, when you do get the pro card.
Right.
You're going to be so dang proud of yourself because you stood up there and did it. And there's a few people that we see online that highlight where they're just like, I won my first show, I won my first national show, I got my pro card, and then I, like, did really well at my pro day. They did really well at their pro debut, and they just, like, flew through the ranks. And it's like, that's rare. Like, you don't realize how many more people and more athletes actually go back and
have
forth
to work for it and, like,
do lots
and not
of
that they
shows.
didn't, sorry, but just have to, like, work for it in a different way.
A different journey. They have a different journey.
Yeah.
Some people, it might take it. Like, it took me 6 national shows to turn pro. How many did you do?
Oh, I cannot remember. I think more like 10.
Yeah,
I
and then
think,
you've done a few already. Like, it's not always a first come
12.
and that's you're only good if you can
Yeah.
just get it right off the top.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get it your first time, you just evaluate, you make a plan, you work harder, you change,
Yeah,
and you grow.
even now, like in some people say don't say stuff like this, but like I would love a pro card this season. But I'm very realistic and I know how hard it is to get that, and I understand if I don't. And I kind of already have, like, if I didn't, like, what's my plan? It's probably grow my glutes. And so we
Yeah.
go into an improvement season. I'm already planning, like, I've talked to you guys about a really structured good reverse, like, so I can have a shorter off season but make it productive and stay a little bit leaner to have a better, like, a shorter prep next time. Like, there's always already kind of plans being made because I'm just focused on improving. And, like, no matter what happens, I love, like, the journey. And I'm just focused on showing that, like, I can take feedback, I can learn, I can grow, and I can improve, and I can come back better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
however long it takes, it takes.
Yeah.
And
Like,
the cool thing too is all those plans
Absolutely.
that you went over are if you get your pro card or not.
oh yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
going to, like, you have a plan to improve and grow as an athlete.
matter
we have
what.
the plan to we've all had group text about accountability on reverse diet this year.
That is our big
Yes,
thing. You guys
yes.
are gonna be hearing a lot about reverse dieting.
Yes.
When we
go
get past prep, that will be something we focus on and tell you
Yes.
about. It
Yeah.
won't be a prep update, it'll be a reverse
Reverse
diet
diet
update.
Yes.
real, raw,
That's funny,
honest.
right?
We've got
That's
some
funny.
accountability going on
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think that's really cool. It's just like shows like where it's like it's not about like you have a goal and an intention and everything, but it's like there's more to it. Than
Well, we
that.
all like to, like, even not even in competing, but you love to follow a fighter, like the story of a fighter, like that's like that they're just fight whatever their goal and whatever their thing is, like they're fighting for it and they're just not giving up.
Yeah. That
Like,
perseverance.
Yeah, and so that's
Yeah.
what matters.
Yeah.
And everybody loves to win. Don't
Well,
get me
yeah,
wrong.
don't get me wrong.
We all
Mhm.
don't like when we don't win,
Yeah.
but you know, there's always like a lesson learned when you don't, and it doesn't define you if you don't every time. I mean,
And I think it's okay, even because I think how we're kind of talking, it's okay to have your moment.
oh
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
gotta
as long
just,
as you have good sportsmanship.
yes, have
Yes.
good sportsmanship, and it is okay to, like, go home and just be like, damn,
Yes.
like, I wanted that.
Yeah.
Like, and you be bummed. Like,
Mhm.
you can be bummed, and then but then you got to get yourself out of it, and you've got to then, like,
Yeah.
wake up the next day. Maybe it takes a day or two. Like,
Mhm.
maybe it takes a week. It depends on what you're, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it just depends on your situation. But, like, just have the good sportsmanship. Don't try to beat yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, rely
Yeah.
on your support system. Focus on the feedback and just improving.
Progress, yeah.
But yeah.
And let
Yeah.
that disappointment kind of carry
Motivate
you,
you to-
Yeah.
carry you through things like there's certain things like I don't want to feel that again, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna work harder
Harder.
this time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you guys hire a posing coach for your first couple shows?
Actually, I had for posing for my first show, I had my coach give me posing lessons. Because I thought that it kind of had to be my coach. Because I thought like if I went to someone else, that I was like not listening to my coach, or I
Cheating
was
on your
like,
coach.
yeah, or like, or I was like stirring things up, or like I wasn't following her plan, kind of thing. Even though she didn't say so, and she also offered posing classes, but the thing is like I didn't start until like most of the way through my prep, so I was only a couple months out.
But that's pretty good. A couple months. I was a couple
It's like
weeks.
8 weeks out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. I was not
Both
good.
of you.
I was not good, and I didn't have a posing coach. It was just actually a girl that was nationally qualified at the time. She just held the posing classes, and looking back on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like definitely, like I did not have performance posing. I would have done that.
Well, I think posing's just evolved, though. Like,
Yeah.
It has
there
so
wasn't, like,
much.
back then, we all started in, like, 2017, 18-ish.
Yeah, there wasn't.
There
that
was
much on
not really
posing.
posing coaches. And if they were like males that did, a lot of them were, like, like male, like, bodybuilders and women's physique and figure
Yeah.
that were then helping, because bikini was newish
New,
as
That's
of, like,
true. Yeah.
you know, so
Mhm.
it was like them helping the bikini
Mhm.
girls, and so there wasn't like a specialty bikini posing
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah.
So it was your coach that
Yeah.
for the most part that was helping you with posing. So same thing. I had the same thing as you. My coach we did, you know, weekly or monthly or something posing classes, learned all my posing from her. And yeah, I've never had a posing coach. And I've just always learned. I learned from my first coach, and then I took that and I just kind of started studying. And I've always been someone, like, I just, as part of wanting to improve, I understand the importance of studying what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I studied the sport and studied athletes, and then just started, like, I'm really good at being able to watch something, like with posing especially. And I did cheerleading and dance, so like I can kind of watch choreography and watch things and then be able to like replicate it and do it. And so I kind of did that same thing with me with for myself. And but however, I think if posing coaches were more common, then I would have hired one, and I see that there is a benefit in hiring them, so it doesn't take you as long to get good at posing. Because it definitely took me years. Where now we have the resources out there where you can hire a posing coach, and man, there's some girls like some girls I've worked with, brand new. They are looking like top 5 nationally qualified,
awesome.
and I'm just like.
That the confidence it brings?
Yes, the confidence it brings, their experience.
Awesome.
Like, that would have never happened in, like, 2017, 2018. Like, back when we all started. These girls can learn, like fast. And so, anyways, what I'm saying is that the minute you decide you want to compete, whether you're in a building phase or prep, hire.
Yes.
Talk with your coach. Maybe your coach has
recommendations.
Preferred. There some coaches have preferred posing coaches they want you to work with. They've got team posing coaches they want you to work with. And so start there. And then if your coach is someone that doesn't mind that you work with someone outside, go look at who your friends are that are competing, who are their posing coaches, who do they work with, who do you see online, like do your research, look around. A lot of posing is about style, so it's like you need a posing coach that knows technique, but also do you like their style, because style is a thing. Everyone has different styles, and so you should work on posing no matter what it is.
Yes.
I wish I started earlier. I started when I started being more, I guess, focused on getting my pro card. When I started doing more national runs, I hired a posing coach. My brain does not work like that. I see somebody do some choreography and I'm like, that looked really good. And then I do it and I'm like, what did I just do? I have no idea. I'm like, I need okay, put your right foot here, then put your left foot here, and then do
down.
this. I need that broken down thing, and then I probably need to do it by myself for
a million times.
a million times, and then maybe someone can watch.
All I can say is I'm so glad our posing does not have to be on beat with music. I would fail.
I wish it did. Oh
yeah,
God,
I would love music.
I would love a song.
Right? I'd love to pick my song.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Especially as you guys as pros, because you have more time.
Okay, picking a song would be cool, but I feel like still the way if it was posing even just to a song, like I could feel like the energy of the song and flow with it.
You give me a song you want to pose to, I'll choreograph you.
It would be perfect, and then you would get in the zone, and it would be the same song.
Be so
I could see that being
a dream.
Cool. But I mean more like dance choreography. Like my cheer coach in high school was like, okay, look, can you fake clap?
Really? That's funny.
Just so it doesn't make noise. Like, it's okay if you're like an eighth off, but like you just can't make noise anymore. You are do not have any rhythm.
You're like, what beat?
I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm also the kind of person like when I turn around, like I face the other direction, like if you're dancing and you like turn like oh my gosh, even in like Zumba classes. I used to do those in like college. You turn around to like face the back. Gone, lost, can't find me. I totally can't even remember what's happening.
That's funny.
And I turned back around the front. Okay, now I can watch someone and copy you, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
So bad. And it was like the same song every week at the dance classes. Nope. I tried so hard.
That's funny.
But posing doesn't come naturally to me, but either. And so like having a posing coach is just really, really like, even if I learned so much and did really well through the beginning years because I did study and worked really hard and tried, but like I wish I would have had someone more dedicated posing coach at the time. It would have probably taken even like looking at my first national show when I got that last call out, I probably would have maybe done a lot better because I actually was really conditioned and had a really good amount of muscle. I probably would have done a lot better if someone would have helped me pose.
Yeah. It's all about how you present. After doing all that work, you want to present it at its best. So,
and so I think like it's something that I wish I would have known is like, it's okay to hire multiple parties for specialized things. Your coach doing your main protocols, especially mostly nutrition and cardio, etc., and your main things, but having like a posing coach, even an in-person trainer at the gym who pushes you a little bit differently than, let's say, like you're doing the workout program from your coach. You can even have some trainers will follow the plan from your coach. But sometimes it's nice to have someone check the form or push you, or make
some
sure
people have like a coach for their gut protocols and stuff like
yeah,
that.
like OPF
Mhm.
training, and like so it's okay to have separate coaches, and communicate with your coach and let them know who you're working with, and let them know what's going on, and
Yeah,
make sure it's
absolutely.
all part of the big master plan.
Mm-hmm.
But posing, yes, please do it early.
And practice your comparisons. I didn't know that when I
Yes.
first started. We were just like, we always drilled our
Yes,
routines.
we always
did individual routines,
Mhm.
and especially at the amateur level, the regional and even national. I mean, national level, they're sometimes they look at you, sometimes they but especially at the regional level, you're not really judged on your routine.
Yeah,
And comparisons is what matters. And
Mhm.
so
Absolutely.
what that is that's when you're lined up in comparisons with your group, with your class, and the judge is making the calls, and they're having you switch places, transition, walk to the back.
Mhm.
So drilling that stuff, because what it is it's having to pose for long periods of time, anywhere from 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 minutes. It just depends on how competitive your class is and how big it is. But and having to hold your pose, and having to pose while nervous and while adrenaline's going, while switching in and out of your poses. So that should be the priority.
Yes.
Routine second. And that's where you should. So if you prioritize your posing practice, it should be comparisons and routine. Or I have my girls like do their 2 to 3 rounds of their routine to warm up, get them like that's they do that first, and then the rest of the time is their comparison drilling. So that.
Attend
Any other
mock show
posing?
days.
Oh, 10 mock show days.
Yeah.
Even attend, like, okay, it might be scary, especially as a new competitor, but attend, like, group posing classes,
Yep.
attend seminars,
Seminars,
attend mock show days, because you will learn so much. Even if, like, the girls I work with, like, if I'm their posing coach, I still tell them, like, because I work with girls nationally or globally, and, like, where you're at, go to these things. Get other eyes on you. Get in person, or get other feedback, like, just other style ideas.
Just soak up
like,
as much information as you can.
And posing next to other people is such a different feeling.
Yeah.
I remember, because since I struggled with posing, I remember when I first ever posed next to people, I was so intimidated and thrown off, because some people were more experienced, some people were way more flashy and moving their arms, or moved quicker than me, and I was like so thrown off. But like, I went to the class and I learned, like, to breathe and to go slower and to just do my thing and to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And like, I wish I would have like done more of that, so I was like less thrown off in the early days on stage, because I just thought I had to do so much more than I had to do.
less is more.
Yeah.
Simple is
Less
better.
is more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think that kind of.
There's probably more, but we'll
Yeah.
We'll
get into
There's
those
probably
more.
so many
We'll
more
think
things
of
we
some,
could
and
think
we'll do a
of.
part 2.
Yeah.
There's probably lots. But
Yes, this is a topic that we could go on and on.
on and on and on and on. There's lots of things.
But I think that's it for this week.
Mhm.
And next week we have
We're going to have a
yes.
show update from Steph.
Yes, that's for
Yes.
one. But the more exciting thing is that
Kaylia doesn't know what we're talking about.
I was saying we're gonna have special guests next week.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm just really
that's what I
excited
was
for
going to
Steph.
say.
I was
That's
like,
what I
I
was
was
going to
saying
say.
at the same
Yeah,
time,
I'm
but
like, what's
different
wrong with
things.
that?
Oh,
I'm like,
I-
yes.
Thinking about something else.
I
I'm
know.
thinking about us
Yes.
coming and talking about Wasatch, because Steph competed
Yes.
finally.
Yes.
I mean, that's gonna be the most
so funny.
exciting part.
Not
But yeah, we're
besties and
all-
boyfriends.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
besties and
Oh, yes. That's
boyfriends.
exciting.
We're-
That's going to be
We're
different.
So
bringing our
two
partners.
really exciting things where you need to watch episode 9.
Yes. We're going to
That's
have a good
funny.
episode.
Yeah, watch episode 9, because it's
Yes.
gonna be Steph's Wasatch Warrior results and
Mhm.
update and experience.
Yes. Oh.
And special guests, we're inviting our significant others to join us. So these beanbags will be a little more crowded.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta make more room.
Mine will be a little
Especially
bit more.
yours.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Especially yours. You guys are prepping.
We'll
You
make
get
it work.
smaller.
Yeah.
We'll make it
exactly.
work.
That's funny. That'll be a
But
good one.
thanks for always watching, supporting,
Yes.
liking, subscribing, and all the things. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.